My name is Florence Namaganda. I am the founder and director of the Special Children's Trust. The Special Children's Trust was founded in 2006. We started as a community drop-in center with 7 children, and it grew since then to about 8,000 children with disabilities that we support through different programs. So we started actually as a therapy center. So we used to do therapy and medical services only. But then alongside that, we added nutrition support, because we realized that many children with disabilities were failing to thrive because of lack of food, or actually not lack of food, but lack of the proper food. The parents didn't know how to feed them. So then we started an intensive nutrition clinic. And then eventually we started an education program, because we realized that as we trained our children, they learned and they could go to school, but there were no schools for them. So we started an education program where we opened up our own catch-up classes, accelerated learning, where we're teaching kids the basics of kindergarten and lower primary, and then sending them to mainstream schools. And then after that, we started a family empowerment program, because we realized, again, many parents had no sources of income, no means of taking care of their children. So family empowerment now started to teach parents different skills. And our skills included tailoring, hands-on skills, tailoring, making of beads and things like that. Then business management, how to run a small business. So those things. So basically, our program just kept growing along the way. Then we realized we needed to do advocacy and awareness, and then the program started growing from one location to different locations. So, for example, our education program started in one place in Lunguja, and then we opened up a vocational skills training center in the same location, and then eventually opened up on the island of Busi, and we also started a therapy program on the same island. And then we opened up this inclusive school, Dawn Children's Center, was also out of the needs of the communities around us. So we opened an inclusive school where we wanted children with disabilities and those without, to coexist. And then we opened a medical center, which is Beraka Medical Center in Wakiso. So things have just grown. So we have outreach locations in Luwero, in Moyo, and in Karamoja now. We support about 8,000 children with disabilities and their families, because we support the child through the family. So it's a child and the entire family. But then we work with about 46 other organizations, so grassroots organizations that we do capacity building for, in terms of having systems in place and making sure that they're providing the right services. So those organizations, about 46, in what we call our Special Children's Forum. And then we do mentorship for interns. So these would be social workers, these would be therapists, these would be teachers. So we do a lot of teacher training and also internships, and also we train the teacher training colleges and therapy training colleges to make sure that whoever comes out of there knows about disability and knows how to handle the children. It hasn't been very easy, because it's about relationship. What I've found that works best is relationship. People come and see what you're doing and then want to work alongside you. So it's always that you go and look out for, you see an organization, reach out to them, and then it will take some time to build that partnership. So what I would say is that the partnerships have taken time to grow, and we have been in this space for 15 years. So right now, people are more trusting and receptive when we reach out to them than they were when we had just started out. So we see now more doors opening with government, especially during the COVID time. We did a lot of emergency relief, and we were partnering with KCC and the different line ministries, and that opened up a lot of doors working with government, which wasn't there for us before. And then the other partnerships with other organizations, they're coming on organically, I guess. People work with you, or they partner with you in one project, and then they'll tell other people about you. So referrals, again, have helped with building connections and partnerships. Tools for data collection, yes, we've been using the very basic tools, and majorly collect the information from the community, put it through Excel sheets and simple forms. So that's what we've been using for the longest time. But this year we decided we are more intentional about working on our M&E. So right now we are building better systems, and our strategic plan is ending this year. So we hope with a new strategic plan we'll have better tools and, better ways of collecting information. But yeah, we do collect information, and it does influence what we do, because when we know there are more people in that area, then we'll allocate our resources more for that. And if we know that the need is in a certain area, then we'll make sure that we provide more funding in that area than in another. Resource mobilization, I think, is one of the hardest things that you don't think about when you're starting an organization. You have this passion to create impact and change lives. You don't think about the fact that you'll need money all the time and you need all these resources. And for me, I think resources in terms of human resource, but also financial resources, those have been the hardest to get hands-on. But again, as I said, relationships is the best way. People hear about you, they come and see what you do, and then they will give you some resources. And if you account well, then they will refer you to someone else. I think that is what has worked best for us. We have had very few opportunities where we've reached out to donors, or written proposals that have gone very well. But most of our funding has come through individuals, people who have heard about our work, who have seen it, who have seen the impact that we're creating on the ground, and they've come on board to support us. And those people have referred us to other people. I have found that Ugandans rally around a cause. You can't tell them we want money to, say, run Dawn Children's Center. No one will give you that money. But if you came up and said, we have this situation. So for example, right now we're raising money for Karamoja, and people are calling me from all over the place and saying, I have 100,000, can I send it to you? And people who have never seen me. So when there is a cause, people will come together. And again, that was amplified during COVID. We got money from people from all over the country that we didn't know, who wanted to make sure that people were not starving, So Ugandans will give towards a cause. That's what I've found. But most of our funding, programs funding, comes from different countries majorly. What we have found, and especially working in the disability space, there's a lot of stigma, myths and beliefs surrounding disability. So in most of the communities, we find that children are hidden in the back, children are being abused, children are being neglected. So in order for us to get into the community, we look for the gatekeepers of the community, so to speak, like those ones who hold the power, and we engage them and tell them what we're doing, and we kind of explain to them what we're doing, because people don't understand it. Most people, even those very gatekeepers, may be thinking that this is witchcraft. They may be thinking this mother must have done something wrong to have this child with disabilities. So you have to break down the myths for them and change mindsets of the leaders first before you even get into the community. Yeah. So most of the time we get to have dialogues with the community leaders, and then also key parents. So if we have parents that are already in that community, then we will talk to them about their child, and once they have accepted their child, then they can be our ambassadors to the community and talk about the change. And also the community is observing. So like one of our communities on Busi Island, it has a lot of myths, because there is a lake, so they believe in the spirits of the lake, and so many crazy things. But in order for them to accept the children with disabilities, they had to see. So all of them were waiting because they knew. So the funny story is that they believe that these children have spirits from Lake Victoria, and this lake, that's the reason why they had disability, and they were not allowed to touch them. They were not supposed to help them, to bathe them, to dress them, because the spirits determined what they did. So when we came and said, well, this is epilepsy, so your child is falling down not because the spirits have come, but this is epilepsy. Your child needs medication. Or your child is running around because they have autism. Your child is not walking because they have cerebral palsy. We can help. They gave us the children and waited for us to die because they believed the spirits were stronger. So they were all watching. And then they realized, oh, these strange people coming and looking after these children, and they're not dying. They are alive, and they keep coming back. And now when they realized that was happening, now they started bringing all the kids. And the community leaders would say, don't keep the child in the background. Take them to this place. So where we started with 20 children, now we have over 100 children, and parents and leaders and everybody. And we have an inclusive education program where these people who believe these children were cursed are now allowing them to be in their mainstream schools. So I guess it is all about, engagement and modeling what you want. If you're telling them this is not a curse, let them see you hang out with this child. If you're saying it's not an infectious disease, let them see you eating with this child and you are not getting infected with the same epilepsy. Then they will believe you. So it's again, relationships, modeling what you're doing, and obviously continuously talking about the same things again and again. For anyone coming up, I would say build systems early on. Build systems. Have the simplest financial system that you can afford. Those simple systems. Have a database which you update regularly. Have the simplest human resource, system that you can afford. Don't wait until you're big enough for you to have this. Because again, the funders, when they come to you, or when someone wants to help you, they want evidence. They want to see that their money will be looked after. You can't be there and you're not registered and you don't have any system and people will trust you. So what I would say, build systems early on and just build up from there. Build relationships and honor them. If you build a relationship, honor it. If someone gives you 50 shillings, account for 50 shillings. Don't account for 46. Let them believe that their money will be used. And once you build this relationship with one person, that person will open up a door to your next person. And then the other thing, please do the work. Do the work that you said you're going to do. If you said you're going to look after children with special needs, please look after the children. Let there be children being looked after and let there be, lives being changed. And once you do that, I think more than likely you'll be successful in what you do.